Hey, this is Rob with Road Dirt, and we are with my friend via Skype, Kevin Baxter of Pro Twin Performance and Baxter's Garage, for a discussion this morning about something new that is rolling out in the industry that Kevin and his crew are kind of on the leading edge of. So let's see if we can get Kevin on the line with us right here. Let's check and see. Kevin, are you there? We got
Hey,
you.
hey, Rob, how you doing, man?
Hey, there is Kevin. Good morning to you, my friend. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, man. You got me out of bed a little early this morning,
Not you, man. You're up at the crack of dawn.
but I got my coffee. This is actually coffee. This isn't my typical live beverage.
Yeah, me too. Cup of go juice, man. Java for the morning. So good to see you. You guys been staying well?
Man, we're fantastic. It obviously 2020 was an interesting year. No need to dive into all that, but we have been absolutely hammered busy, man, between custom bikes and engines and typical repair work and services and tires and brakes and oil changes. Yeah, we've
I got to brag on Kevin a little bit for our viewers here because he won't himself. So I'm going to brag on you. Kevin is considered by many in the industry to be among the premier custom bike builders in the land, in the country. And something a lot of folks don't know also is he's internationally known for being one of the top performance engine tuners of V twins and the like. And I think, if I remember right, Harley Davidson has actually contracted with you to do seminars really all over the world on on engine builds and performance engine builds and things like that. So
yeah, we've been all over the place, man.
yeah,
It's been fun. I mean, typically what would happen, shops would get together and have me come over and teach them engine building techniques and machining and tuning and stuff. I mean, everywhere, Australia, all over Asia. I've done some European tours. And oddly enough, I've been all over Europe. I've never been to the UK.
okay.
But there was one year I went over 8 countries throughout the European Union in
Oh,
7 days, I think it was. Tuned something like 50 motorcycles in 7 days.
for they wore you out
Yeah.
for sure. Now, Kevin's company, his umbrella company is called Go Fast Industries. Specifically, you run what's called Baxter's Garage and Pro Twin Performance. Tell me a little bit about these two entities right here before we get into what I really called you about.
Yeah, okay. Well, it was, this goes back, I've been doing this stuff, cars and motorcycles, pretty much my entire life. And when
Yeah.
I had all of my friends, this is an interesting thing, all of my friends tend to be 20, 30 years older than me, right? Well, when I bought my first house, it became a regular thing for my friends to come over with their hot rods once a month, and we'd either grill out or order pizzas and have beverages or whatever, and it became the
Mhm.
monthly meeting at Baxter's Garage. All right,
Oh,
so
that's cool.
and that just what it became known as, and there would be some Saturday afternoons we'd have 10 cars lined up, just messing
Oh,
around.
wow.
So there was a long period of time that I was actually close to the public doing engineering consulting work for a lot of different companies. And
Yeah.
when I opened to the public, I decided, this is, we got to go way back, when e-commerce was really starting to develop and boom. And I wanted to differentiate between, Baxter's Garage as, the physical location and, the work.
Right.
And where Pro Twin Performance products came from was a line of our own products. And that was our e-commerce outlet. Well,
Cool.
over time, everybody got to know us based off of our product name, not Baxter's Garage. So
Right.
okay, well, by default, then let's just keep it Pro Twin Performance. Well, what I decided to do really, it was about 2 years ago because, I grew up doing cars. I still love cars. So I wanted to be able to, encompass everything that we do on the automotive engine building, restorations, and all that too. So I'm making that transition back into the company being Baxter's Garage as the
Gotcha.
umbrella, and then carrying through Pro Twin, and then of course the Skunk Works division, which is all
Yeah.
of our what that's about is the custom tailored suit of engine designing. It's
Right.
ultra high precision, ultra high quality, doing stuff way outside the box, 350 horsepower type stuff, all the way to a decent street build. But it's just about custom tailoring that engine. So that's kind of
the 50 motorcycle engine builds.
What's that?
I said the Area 51 of motorcycle engine builds.
That's it.
Right over in Winder, Georgia. Now, speaking of innovation, one of the things that you've begun recently is what I really wanted to talk with you about. I know a lot of us, most of us that ride, eventually customize in some way with either OEM parts or aftermarket parts. The motorcycles that we ride. Everybody loves to tailor their bike to their taste, their look, their riding style, things like that. And I've done that over the years, either installed aftermarket exhaust or had friends at a shop that did something like that for me, aftermarket bars or, things like that.
Right.
And I think the mother of invention, and you can attest to this because you're an inventive innovator in so many ways, I think really starts with one of two questions, sometimes both of them. Innovation and creativity begins with asking either the what if question or the why not.
Right.
And, and I think those two questions to me seem to be the mother of invention, the mother of creativity and development. And you in your life, being a bike builder and a customizer for people, I think began to not only ask the what if, but you started asking a question of the aftermarket industry, why not? And what was your why not question?
Oh, I've asked a lot of those.
Yeah.
Well, I guess this is your segue into the warranties, right?
Yes, this is what I want to talk about. This, when you first presented this idea to me, I was like, oh my, that's like one of those, could have had a V8 moments. How come nobody else thought of that?
Yeah.
So,
well, for years, I mean, 2 decades, I've been building very high precision engines using the best parts that I could possibly find, source, or have manufactured. And there are other guys in the industry that, do precision engines. I mean, they do incredible work, and they do great. They make great parts. Then you have other companies that pour into research and development to develop the best parts you can with the best materials possible. And so,
absolutely,
if I look at the motorcycle culture, what really got this thing going mainstream was Easy Rider, right? Mm-hmm. And they weren't riding stock motorcycles. So so the thing is it's a large part of this motorcycle culture is it's a hobby, but it's an opportunity for expression. So it's to a large, yes, there are people that buy motorcycles and leave them completely stock, of course, but then there's the customization aspect. Well, over the years, we know we're building these precision engines, we're putting precision drivetrain components in, and then as you do those things to a brand new bike, yes, you can have extended warranty plans, you've got stock warranties and everything else, but as time has moved on and the motorcycles have gotten more complex, they're preventing you from being able to modify your motorcycle with aftermarket components and it voiding your warranty. And
that's true. That in the industry, if there's this huge aftermarket world out there, and yet so many I've seen over the years, manufacturers will threaten to void a warranty if you modify the exhaust or you modify this or something else. So it's confusing at times.
Well, and the big one was just a few years ago where it was finally put into place. The motor company came up with this thing that if you can put slip-on exhaust on, you can do a couple of things, but if you put a full set of pipes on and make any kind of engine modification, it has to be fully tuned. But then because of EPA compliance, they could not provide from the factory a tuner that would permit you full range tuning. So that left that up to the aftermarket, which there's several products out there that can do that and do it well.
Right.
But where the problem came in was if you use any of those products on your bike, and if you go to your dealer for any reason and they plug that bike in, to the digital tech, it immediately voids your powertrain warranty. And you get this big warning screen on the digital tech that it pinged, the corporate computers. This warranty's powertrain warranty's void. And so, so that left every person with factory warranty, preventing them from modifying their bike. So I guess what I got to thinking is there had to be a way, some way, that people could modify their motorcycle with precision components, precision machine work, responsible engine building, and be able to have a warranty on those very expensive modifications. And that's where the Performance Plus ESP program came from.
So you've basically been trying to answer those two questions, the what if question, but the why not, the question of, why has nobody offered warranties on aftermarket parts and builds before? So, and you're answering that. So tell us, what is the ESP program and how did this come about?
Well, I've been writing the program for about 3 to 4 years, right?
Okay.
And doing research of how warranties work and all that. And really what it is, it's a cost versus, it's a risk thing, right? It's a numbers game, okay?
Yeah.
My challenge was finding a warranty company that had experience in the aftermarket. Someone that actually ran the company that was into performance, that understood aftermarket parts. And it took me a long time to find that. And then I finally found it through Autrella. The COO of that company had actually been a general manager at dealerships for many, many years. He'd been in the industry for nearly 30 years, I believe. So he understood how the factory warranties worked. But then he was also in dealing in service in that dealership. He knew how all of the aftermarket warranties worked or any of the factory endorsed plans. So he had a full understanding of all of that, but he's also a performance guy. And he's a writer, and he's been in the industry. And it took me finding him and giving him, this plan outline. And then, of course, we worked on it for several months, refining it. And the biggest thing was to be able to get remember, we're covering potentially tens of thousands of dollars worth of parts, right? So, but the goal was when I went to him, I said, okay, we need to be able to cover all these very expensive aftermarket parts. But I don't want this thing to cost an arm and a leg. It needs to be priced fairly close to some of the factory endorsed extended service plans. And that's exactly what we were able to pull off.
So his company is called Autrella, Autrella, right?
That's correct.
Cool. So they're a warranty company, basically. An aftermarket parts warranty company. Is that what I understand?
No, they are a warranty company. They are their own insurer, their underwriter, and of course, to be in that business, I've learned a lot about this over time. I mean, to be in that business, you have to be bonded, you have to be insured, you have to, it's regulated federally, So but they do automotive warranties and stuff like that as well. And they were getting into the motorcycle game, offering an extended service plan that would allow you to customize your motorcycle, but it did not cover the aftermarket parts. That's the big thing people need to distinguish here. There's not another warranty plan out there. Yes, there's a couple of plans from companies that will allow modifications and cover what the factory wouldn't in the event your warranty was voided. But it did not cover the actual parts and labor of the aftermarket parts. And that's what makes this different.
That's this plan that you guys have worked out. That's what really sets this one apart.
Right.
So something can shops all over America, shops and dealerships, can they all participate in what you guys have developed now, or is there a criterion for it? Or I'm sure there is, actually.
Yeah, there has to be.
Yeah.
Because we have to remember too, the motorcycle industry is vastly different than the automotive industry, right? So the automotive industry has ASE certifications. So when you
Yes.
yeah, so when you pull up, and you see that blue asterisk with the ASE in the middle,
Right.
what's that?
Yeah, I'm just, I remember, I've seen those.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, so you see that, and okay, the people in this building have had some sort of training and everything else. Well, the motorcycle industry doesn't have that for the aftermarket. Okay, and when you're doing very complex builds, engines and transmissions and suspension work and all that, Altrella was like, we're taking a lot of risk with this, so there has to be some sort of qualification, and it not be just blanket open to every shop. So if and then there's also geographic conditions as well. We don't want to have 5 warranty dealers in a small populated area,
That's
right? So
right.
so if a shop wanted to be a dealer, then they basically what they have to do is demonstrate that they have the tools, equipment, and skill set and experience to do the type of work that is wanting to be covered under warranty, right?
Yeah.
They need to demonstrate that, and then also to be able to say who they buy their performance parts from. Now, either they have a machine shop themselves and they demonstrate that the experience and they're qualified to do that, or they list those reputable shops that they're buying those parts from or those parts vendors. And so once that's looked at, and yeah, okay, this guy he's vetted, right? We
Yeah.
can, he's got the experience. We know what he's, that he's good there. And then it works into the geography for the program. Then that's how one would get approved.
Okay. So they qualify to participate in the program by geographic considerations, mainly by expertise and demonstrating that expertise, not only in installation and quality of building, but quality of parts that they're either building or sourcing. And so you've probably got a list not only of shops that want to qualify for that, but also aftermarket parts manufacturers that want to qualify for that as well.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So how is the network starting to grow right now? Have you guys got quite a few shops and aftermarket companies across the U.S. that are jumping on board this? I can see where that really is scratching an itch, and they're going to jump in like crazy on.
And
this.
that's exactly what's happened. We have been inundated with shops, and my goal for this is to have a national, obviously a large national network. Yeah, so that again, locating them responsibly, geographically anyway. But
Right.
yeah, it's the response has been incredible. We're getting those questionnaires and the I guess the qualification applications, if you will, from dealers like crazy, man. It's pouring in.
I think it's the next big thing, and I think you guys have hit on something, man. It's something, and so like I said before at the beginning, that's at the outset of our conversation. That's the mother of invention. When somebody scratches an itch that everybody else has thought about at some point, bemoan that there wasn't something of, and then somebody jumps in there, does that, scratches that itch, and everybody else goes, wow, why didn't I think of that? Or how come we didn't do it? It's about time is the way that you get that kind of response. And I think what you guys are doing with Altrella, this, aftermarket, warranting of parts and the installation of it, I think is one of those, its time has come in the motorcycle industry. And you guys are on the leading edge. You guys are doing that.
Yeah, well, thanks. It is pretty exciting to know that mechanical things break. You can try as hard as you want. Things happen, right? And to know that someone can spend, again, tens of thousands of dollars, and they're buying top quality components, and if something just happens that's nobody's fault, it's not installer error, it's not.
I think we just had a glitch right here. It looks like it froze up.
We back? How about now?
There we go. I got you
Okay.
back. Yeah.
And that's one of the it's one of the great things about this deal. A guy can spend that, in some cases tens of thousands of dollars, on all these upgraded parts and things, and at no,
Yeah.
again, things happen at no fault of anyone's. It could be, just things happen. It's not installer error. It's just, a defective part. To know that he can spend that money and still have coverage and be protected. That's a pretty big deal.
I think you guys are doing a great thing, man. No, so how can people find you on the web, your different platforms? How can they find Kevin Baxter, Pro Twin Performance, Baxter's Garage? Tell us how we can find you.
Well, we're in the process of a bit of a transition, as I'd mentioned in the beginning. That Baxter's Garage Pro Twin Performance thing. So we've got a website that I've put up, I don't know, 10 years ago and haven't touched it since. That's it. That's protwin.com, but our new website that we're transitioning to is baxtersgarage.com. And if someone wanted to, find out more about this program, you can go to baxtersgarage.com, and there'll be a link at the top. It may be under the More section or something, and they'll see a link for the ESP warranty program. And there's a questionnaire. We basically just want a little bit of information about you, what you've done to your bike, of course, your contact information. And when you send that to us, we're going to see that, and then we're going to respond with all of our frequently asked questions. And I'll go ahead and send you a copy of the warranty contract so you can review that, and of course the pricing for the plans. There is variable pricing, and now this is a big aspect of this program. We can write warranties on motorcycles as old as 2001.
Oh, wow. That's
all
cool.
Right. Now, the price is variable, so we can go, that many years back. But if you wanted to get a warranty for a bike that's, say, only a year old and still under factory warranty, that warranty would cost a lot less than the one for the 2001 with 50,000 miles on it, right?
That's true.
But still, it's all very reasonable. But if you click that link, we look at it, we send you the FAQs, we send you the contract and the pricing, give you a chance to review it, and if you like it, just shoot us an email back. We get the pricing. It's very straightforward. The contract is very simple, and when you have that warranty, it covers you nationwide. Actually, in U.S., Canada, and Puerto Rico. Pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if it's a trike. Don't care if you pull a trailer, it's not going to void the warranty. You can make modifications along the way. So it's a pretty innovative program when you get down to the nitty-gritty of it.
It really is. It really is. A lot of folks probably need to check you out on YouTube also. You guys have got a killer YouTube channel. Where can they find you on YouTube?
It's youtube.com/ and my name, Kevin Baxter.
Look for Kevin Baxter out on YouTube, and you will find one of the great channels out there on engine builds and modifications and things like that. All the stuff inside of Skunk Works Central, man.
Yeah.
And then I've got a Facebook page and personal and a Pro Twin Performance Facebook page out there. So check him out there on the interwebs.
The interwebs.
You will find. Well, Kevin, I appreciate you letting us chat with you this morning. Thanks for sharing a cup of coffee with us virtually here.
Yeah, no problem, Rob. It was great to see you, man, as always. You guys, you and Phil and the rest of the crew, take care of yourselves, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, friend. This is Rob and Kevin with Road Dirt. Ride life.